All right, hello guys, welcome. Today I'm going to start with, continuing actually with vocabulary enrichment, and today we're going to go on to Unit 28 from Grammar and Vocabulary book. Okay, we're going to continue with this very nice resource that we have access to. Remember that it is in Aula Virtual, okay? For Unit 28 on page 186, we are going to be talking about feelings. Yes, highs and lows. Yes, we might be able to talk about feelings and we might have some vocabulary, but yeah, we're going to deepen into the vocabulary that we do know about feelings by practicing with these activities on this resource. Yeah. So as the first activity that we have here, we're going to listen to a boy called Nick talking about what happened, something that happened recently to him. And then you're going to be answering these questions. The first question is, who came to watch Nick's team play and why? Second question, what happened after the match? And who was chosen? Like I always say, and I always mention when we are doing some listening activities, it is always good to be able to be able to read the questions so you know you have an idea of what you need to be listening for. So now we're going to listen to the audio while we answer these three questions. Okay, you're gonna listen to the audio 2 times and then we will continue. So here we go. Let me go back. And that is track 36. Here we go.
Unit 28.
Okay, and I'm going to make sure to share the sound. Here we go. Yeah.
Recording 36.
I've played football since I was 8 years old, and I'm 15 now. I play for one of the best youth football teams in my area. My brother, who's 14, is also in the team. I've always wanted to play in the national team, the under-16s, of course. And last week, we were told that a coach was coming from the national team to watch us play. He was going to choose 3 really good players to take part in a youth match against another country. The big moment arrived on Tuesday and we played our match. I scored a goal just before the final whistle and I knew we'd won. I looked over at the coach and he nodded to me. The whistle blew. I knew I played really well and I was sure I'd be chosen. I couldn't wait to hear my name called. I ran over to the other players, but I was so excited I didn't look where I was going. I tripped and fell over, and I broke my leg. I was taken to the hospital. Later, I found out that the coach had chosen me, but of course, I can't play now. My brother will take my place. The match is on Saturday.
All right, we will listen to the audio one more time. Remember that the questions were, number 1, who came to watch Nick's team play and why? Number 2, what happened after the match? And number 3, who was chosen?
Unit 28. Recording 36.
I've played football since I was 8 years old, and I'm 15 now. I play for one of the best youth football teams in my area. My brother, who's 14, is also in the team. I've always wanted to play in the national team, the under-16s, of course. And last week, we were told that a coach was coming from the national team to watch us play. He was going to choose 3 really good players to take part in a youth match against another country. The big moment arrived on Tuesday and we played our match. I scored a goal just before the final whistle and I knew we'd won. I looked over at the coach and he nodded to me. The whistle blew. I knew I played really well and I was sure I'd be chosen. I couldn't wait to hear my name called. I ran over to the other players, but I was so excited I didn't look where I was going. I tripped and fell over, and I broke my leg. I was taken to the hospital. Later, I found out that the coach had chosen me, but of course, I can't play now. My brother will take my place. The match is on Saturday.
All right. So after we listen to the audio 2 times, we're going to see what we got from the. Okay. So who came to watch Nick's team play? So hopefully you were able to notice that it was a national coach that came to see them. It was a national coach that came to see them, and he wanted to choose them, the 3 best players. He wanted to choose the best 3 players for a national game. So what happened after the match? He got overly excited for some reason. He didn't see very well, and then he ended up breaking his leg. He broke his leg. And then because he broke his leg, he was a chosen one in the beginning, but since he broke his leg, then he couldn't do it. So his brother was going to play for it. Yeah. So that's something that if you were able to hear, you should have been able to listen to. Okay. So how do you think, I would like for you to think about, how did he feel? Maybe disappointed, maybe annoyed, maybe angry with himself. Any other words that can express his feelings? I'm sure you can think of so many more. Okay, so definitely we need to think about other words that are going to explain the way he felt in that moment. Now look at look at the adjectives below. Which are positive and which are negative? And let's write P above the positive and adjective. P for the positive adjective and N for the negative ones. Let's see here. Ashamed, confident, disappointed, embarrassed, excited, guilty, jealous, proud, relaxed, and upset. All of these are words that are going to express the way you feel. Now, I know, and I've said it a few times already, the best way for us to kind of know the meaning of words is to look them up on a dictionary. Okay, I'm sure that some of these words we are already familiar with, but I don't want to run the chance that you don't know any of these. So I'm going to go ahead and look at them very quickly on Cambridge. And of course, it's also important for you to be getting familiar with the way these words are spelled. Okay. So we're going to do just that. We're going to look into the meaning of these words, and we're gonna do it live. So let me go ahead and stop the share. I'm going to open Cambridge Dictionary, and we're gonna go from there. Mhm. So here, let me see. All right, so there's the exercise that we're gonna do. We're gonna look into these words. And there are going to be some words that you already know. But for example, the word upset, and I wanna start with the last one that I saw, upset. And for some weird reason, when we see the word upset, we think that it's mad, that is just angry. Yes, but upset, it's any kind of feeling that you may be having. It's like you're altered emotionally. It's not upset meaning that you're angry only. It's also that you're extremely sad or extremely angry. It's like when you're altered emotionally. Yes. So this is something that you guys need to pay attention to, because sometimes when you look up at the word, it can be different things. For example, upset can be used as a verb. We know that we are using it right now as an adjective. So definitely that's not the one that we need to be looking into. So we will continue going down to see which one is the one that we need to pay attention to. So upset as an adjective right here, okay? And it can be worried, molesto, alterado. Like I said, it has to do with like being alterado, like emotionally altered somehow. Yeah, and but it has to do with being angry, being unhappy, being some kind of worried. And it could be any of those. So here's the pronunciation.
upset,
Upset. Okay, so that's a word, and it's not really a very high up word. We should already know it because it's an A2, but I'm going to add it to the list just in case. I really did want to go over the connotation of the word because that is something that we need to look into. So let's go ahead and look at this one. Relaxed, you know what that one is. Proud is like being orgulloso, proud. Okay, it says satisfied, and then it says here orgulloso. There you go. So we're gonna add that one to our list just in case. We're gonna continue with the next one, jealous. Now, jealous, it's not only that you are feeling celoso, it's also like envidioso. Okay, it could also be envidioso. So it's not only jealous as celoso, it also can be envidioso. So it's both meanings that it could be. So I'm going to add the word list. Remember that this word jealous can not only be, it has two different meanings, okay? Guilty. Guilty. When you feel guilty, is because you have done something wrong. When you feel guilt, you feel culpable, okay? Guilty. So that is the meaning of that word. Again, this might be words that are very easy for you. It's just like a matter of like reviewing, I guess. Excited is obviously emocionado, emocionada. It could have the sexual connotation also to it. But again, excited is overly used just to show excitement, to show happiness. So it has more that connotation than the sexual one that we could think, because it kind of sounds like in Spanish, no? So then we have embarrassed, y no es embarazado, okay? It actually has something to do with shame, feeling avergonzado, okay? So embarrassed, feeling ashamed about something, sentirse avergonzado, okay? So that is embarrassed. And then disappointed. Disappointed, you feel disappointed when you had an expectation of something and it did not go the way you expected it to go. So you feel disappointed because you're angry, you're sad that it didn't go the same way that you wanted. Decepcionado, okay? So that's definitely one word that can definitely make you sound very eloquent when you are talking to others. And then confident, person that has a lot of secure, they're very confident, that they show that they are very secure with themselves. That's a confident person. They walk like they own it, like they walk like they own the place. This is seguro de sí mismo. Like this is not something that's related to what it sounds in Spanish, but it's a completely different word. that es como confiado, suena como confiado, pero no es confiado, okay? It's seguro de sí mismo, confident, confident. A person that has like really good conversations or that has really good presentations, they look and they carry themselves in a very confident way. So that's confident. And last but not least, ashamed. That means that also seems like avergonzado, okay? So I'm also adding that word. Remember that we are looking into words that show how we feel. Now, the activity that we were looking at right now told us to express we have to label this, we have to label, right? We have to label what are called the negative ones and the positive ones. So we're going to look into these. All right. So based on the fact that we looked them up and everything like that, okay, which ones are positive? Hopefully you were able to find that, for example, proud, it's probably positive. Yes. Usually is positive, right? It could be negative if you're overly proud, but normally it's positive. Okay. What about relaxed? Being relaxed is good, I guess. It could be positive. When we talk about excited, that could also be positive. And when I'm excited, that's positive. Confident, that it's also good when I am doing a presentation and I'm confident, that's awesome. Yes, that's good. All right. Now, what about feeling ashamed? Feeling ashamed might not be so positive, I don't think. So definitely that will be a negative. Negative one. Feeling disappointed, that would probably also be a negative feeling. Embarrassed, that will also be a negative feeling. Guilty, maybe because you have done something wrong, that would be negative also. Jealous is always negative because there's nothing positive about that. And upset can also be related to being. So definitely like that. All right. Positive, confident, excited, proud, relaxed, and negative, ashamed, disappointed, embarrassed, guilty, jealous, and upset. Now, listen again. We're going to listen to the audio one more time, the one that we heard before. And I want you to be able to find out and figure out, how do you think Nick felt after he scored the goal and at the end of the day? Let's listen again to the audio and let's answer these questions. After he scored the goal, how did he feel? And at the end of the day, how did he feel? All right, let's take a look and let's listen to the audio one more time. And then let's see what happens.
Unit 28, recording 36.
I've played football since I was 8 years old, and I'm 15 now. I play for one of the best youth football teams in my area. My brother, who's 14, is also in the team. I've always wanted to play in the national team, the under-16s, of course. And last week, we were told that a coach was coming from the national team to watch us play. He was going to choose 3 really good players to take part in a youth match against another country. The big moment arrived on Tuesday, and we played our match. I scored a goal just before the final whistle, and I knew we'd won. I looked over at the coach, and he nodded to me. The whistle blew. I knew I played really well, and I was sure I'd be chosen. I couldn't wait to hear my name called. I ran over to the other players, but I was so excited I didn't look where I was going. I tripped and fell over, and I broke my leg. I was taken to the hospital. Later, I found out that the coach had chosen me, but of course, I can't play now. My brother will take my place. The match is on Saturday.
Okay, so now that we heard the audio one more time, let's see. Okay, so how do you think Nick felt after he scored the goal? Of course, he felt overly excited. He felt confident. He felt proud. But then at the end of the day, when he broke his leg and he couldn't be the chosen one, I am pretty sure he felt upset, jealous, and disappointed. So definitely he would feel excited, confident, and proud. And then at the end of the day, he most likely felt disappointed, upset, and jealous. So that is what he would feel like. Now, we're going to listen to a different audio this time. Okay, we're going to listen to a different audio this time. And now you listen to Nick continuing his story. And we're going to choose 3 adjectives from 1.2, from these ones, the ones that we labeled negative or positive. Choose 3 adjectives to describe how he felt at the end of Saturday. So let's see. Wait a second. A ver, let's see. Okay, no, that's not what I need to share. I need to share the audio. Yeah.
On Saturday, I went to watch the match.
Recording 37.
On Saturday, I went to watch the match with my leg in plaster. My brother played well and our team won, but I still felt really low, so I refused to clap at the end of the match, and I didn't congratulate him on winning either. Then, when we got home that evening, he gave me this huge parcel. It was a football signed by some of our national players. He'd met them after the match, and he wanted me to have it. All I could think of was how badly I behaved. He's great, my brother.
Listen one more time.
Recording 37.
On Saturday, I went to watch the match with my leg in plaster. My brother played well and our team won, but I still felt really low, so I refused to clap at the end of the match, and I didn't congratulate him on winning either. Then, when we got home that evening, he gave me this huge parcel. It was a football signed by some of our national players. He'd met them after the match, and he wanted me to have it. All I could think of was how badly I behaved. He's great, my brother.
Okay. Let's go ahead and see. So, how Nick felt at the end of Saturday, at the end of the game when his brother finished playing. I hope you were able to notice that his brother felt happy. You know, they ended up winning the game, and he was able to get a puzzle signed by the national players, and he was going to give it to him. So he felt ashamed that he had been so angry at his brother and angry at the situation in which he was, right? He also felt embarrassed that he felt that he acted so badly with his brother, but he was also guilty because he should have been different with his brother. Okay, so definitely so. Wait, wait a second. Okay, so now we're going to go on. Remember that we have been talking about our feelings. We have been talking about our feelings. We have been talking about the way to express feelings. Okay, here we have an email. The underlined adjectives have similar meanings to those in the table below. Write them in the correct column. It says, "Hi, Helga. Just wanted to tell you that I went to the seaside last Saturday with my friends. I was really glad that they phoned me because I was feeling fed up and I was relieved to have something to do. But when we got to the seaside, I realized that they were going to the theme park, and I've always been scared of the big rides. I got a bit angry with them because they hadn't told me, but in the end, they persuaded me to go with them. As I sat there waiting for the first ride to begin, I could feel my heart beating faster and faster. But as soon as it started, I forgot to feel anxious about it because it was such fun. When I got off, I was surprised to realize how much I'd enjoyed it. And I went on all the other rides too. You must come with me next time. Love, Tina." So, what are the things that we can tell about this text? First, who is who is Helga for this? Is this a formal email or is this more of an email that you have with a friend? I hope that you're able to tell that the register is a very informal one, since they are referring to a friend. Yes, they give a lot of detail, definitely so. Okay, so now what we have to do is complete this chart. How are the words similar to amazed, annoyed, depressed, frightened, pleased, or worried? Okay, so let's think about it. I know here we have amazed would be more like will probably be more like amazed, will be more like surprised. Remember that we're doing what we're doing here. And let me go ahead and probably make a screenshot of this so I can share with you. So I can share with you guys on the WhatsApp group. There we go. Okay, already shared with you guys. So let's continue here. The instruction says, read the email. The underlined adjectives have similar meanings to those in the table. Write them in the correct column. Okay, the word glad is very similar to pleased. Okay. All right. What about fed up? Fed up is like when we say, yeah, estoy harta. I am fed up. It could be in different ways. It could be, for example, could be annoyed, yes, or it could be depressed, like, yeah, I'm fed up. In the actual answer key, it is under depressed. So I will put it here, but I could definitely see how it could be with annoyed also. The next word, scared. It will be a lot of to do with frightened, scared. Okay. Scared. And then we have angry. Angry would probably be with annoyed. Yes, you're angry. Surprised will definitely be here with amazed. Surprised. And anxious will definitely be with worried. Anxious. So the ones that we were looking at, we could easily replace them with these synonyms, okay? They have the same meaning or similar meanings. The adjectives below also have similar meanings to the ones in table 2.1. Write them in the correct column. If there is one adjective in a column which is stronger than the others, underline it. Okay, let me go ahead and share the answers here with you guys before going to the next. Okay. So here we're going to continue with the same. All right. The next activity says that we have another set of adjectives. We're gonna write them in the correct column, and there's one adjective in the column which is stronger than the others, we have to underline. Okay. Afraid. Afraid also has to be here with frightened. Afraid. Astonished. That definitely has to do with amazed. How is this being useful for us? Instead of saying I'm surprised, you can definitely sound much more eloquent. If you, instead of saying I am surprised, you can say I am astonished. Okay, and then you definitely are raising up the level, taking it to a whole other level. Yes. So instead of saying I'm angry, you can say I'm annoyed. Okay. And then here, concerned. Concerned is more like worried, anxious. Okay, concerned. I am very concerned with his behavior, for example. Delighted. Delighted is definitely very positive. But I would definitely say that delighted is like stronger than glad. Okay, I'm glad. Yeah, it's good. But delighted, it's a little bit stronger. So I will definitely need to underline this one. Delighted. Yes, so I would definitely, oopsie, underline this one. Yeah, okay. Then we say miserable. Miserable would probably be depressed. Yes, you're feeling miserable. Yes. Furious. Wow, that is like a little bit more, like a bit stronger. So definitely I will need to underline that one, furious. And then we also have terrified. Terrified is also stronger, so I will put it here with frightened, but it's definitely stronger. Terrified. Terrified is a whole other level of fear. Okay, you're terrified, like you're seriously scared. Yes. So that is it. Let me share. Okay. So here we go. Now we continue with the next activity. We have two people here in this picture. Look at the people in the picture. How are they feeling? Paul and Don. Just from the look on their faces, we can definitely see how they might be feeling, okay? So let's write down as many adjectives as you can in order to describe these two people. Now, please pay attention. Now, pay attention to the fact that facial expressions say a lot about the way somebody's feeling. Okay, so take a moment to look at the facial expressions on here, and then technically this is like very far. So let me make a little bit. Let me make it a little bit bigger so that you can take a look at his the pictures, facial expressions. So you can definitely see that Paul is feeling very comfortable with this situation, with every activity that he's about to engage on. Like he feels very happy about it. He's smiling, right? That's one thing that will tell us he feels very comfortable. He's ready to go. He's probably keen of those kind of extreme sports. He's excited. He's thrilled. He's eager. He's very enthusiastic. Okay. Well, Don is not very, he's not looking like he's having fun. He's actually very worried. He looks worried. He probably he's probably feeling very scared and nervous about the whole thing. He's probably frightened about the whole experience, or anxious or worried, apprehensive. That's a term that I like. Okay, so all of these words are definitely words that you would like to keep in mind, not only in order to enrich your vocabulary, but also because that's the way you're going to kick it up a notch. Yes? So definitely Paul feels happy. That's a good one. That's an easy one. Yes, keen, not so easy one, but definitely a good one to use. Excited, thrilled. That's a really cool one. Okay, thrilled. Thrilled. What else? I got eager, enthusiastic, enthusiastic. It's really cool, I guess. Thrilled, eager, enthusiastic. All right, then what about the other guy, Don? Don is feeling probably nervous, scared, nervous, scared, frightened, anxious, worried, and apprehensive. Definitely so. Okay. So that is that, guys. So that's definitely some words that we would like to learn in the case that we haven't looked into them. Again, I'm sharing with you all of these because I feel that these are very useful, very much useful. Alrighty. Okay, here we go. Now, I would like for you to think about something that you did recently. For example, sport match that you played, maybe a presentation that you had to do, a paper you had to write, a meeting you had to join, um, an event that you had to plan. Okay, think about something that you did recently, like any of these things in which, of course, you're going to have very different feelings. Okay, or maybe a place that you visited or a party that you went to, and then choose two of the phrases for feelings below and write a sentence with each one. Okay, I was worried about, for example, if I went to a wedding and I could say, oh, I was worried about what to wear because I did not want to be underdressed, but I did not want to be overtly dressed either. So I was worried about that. I was surprised that my dress was very nice and comfortable to dance in the whole night. Yes, I was very afraid of the people outside the place because it was very late at night when I left the party. I was very upset that my cousin did not pick me up and I had to ask for a cab. I was pleased to see very old friends of mine at the party, and I was very happy to see them all. And I was very annoyed with my cousin because he did not go with me to the party. Okay? Definitely, guys, these are definitely some words, some phrases that you can use to talk about your feelings. Very, very useful ones. As you can see, there are specific adjectives that go with the specific prepositions. I know prepositions. Prepositions are a pain. I know that. Prepositions are definitely a pain in the butt. But it kind of helps when you know which adjectives go with which prepositions. So here we can definitely tell that worried goes with about, surprised can definitely be with that, afraid goes with of, upset that, pleased to, annoyed with. So definitely useful to know that these go together. Okay. And next we have more adjectives that are going to express feelings. We're going to choose the correct adjectives in these sentences. Now, it is very important that we know the difference between some adjectives that have ending ed versus ending ing. And before we actually go and do this activity for point 1, I would like us to watch a video about this topic. So let me double check so I can show you that. It is important to notice when we use, because they definitely have different meanings. And so it is very important that you know the difference. Okay, so here we go.
Blah 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 blah.
Okay, so definitely you can see now the difference between the adjectives ed talks about the way people feel versus adjectives with ing shows how that object or that person makes another person feels. Okay, so it is definitely a good activity to do here. So I'm going to make I'm going to share these. Now you have to keep in mind that that idea as you practice this vocabulary. Okay. So in here we got I was really boring or I was really bored. If I am talking about the way I feel, then definitely it's going to be a person. For this reason, it's going to be using ed. Yeah. So right here, the correct answer is bored, correct? Yes. Now, last night's show was really, what are we talking about? We're talking about a show. So we're not talking about a person, so we can definitely not use ed. If we're talking about an object, then we definitely are talking the way it's making another person feel. So last night's the show was really disappointing. We wasted our money. We were very surprising or surprised when we got to the hotel and it was closed. We're talking about us, we. So we are people. So definitely we are going to use ed. Tommy was so excited when he received your letter with the good news. If we're talking about Tom and the way he feels, then we're definitely going to have to use ed. For people, we always use ed. He hated talking in public, so he felt very worrying or very worried about giving his speech. Again, we're talking about he feeling, so definitely we need ed. Rahim gave me a ride on his motorbike. It was absolutely terrifying or terrified. What are we talking about? We're talking about it. We're talking about the situation of going and riding on the motorbike. So for this reason, we are describing an activity which it's okay to do it with an ing. I didn't find the holiday relaxing or relaxed because my friend wanted us to go out all the time. Here we have we're talking about the holiday. The holiday is an object, so definitely we cannot use ed. So for this reason, the best option is relaxing. Okay. So again, please remember that when we are referring to people, we use adjectives with ed, but when we are referring to objects or situations, we're going to use the adjective with ing. Okay. So that's definitely something to keep in mind when it comes to choosing which adjective to use. Okay. I think that will be a good ending point for today. The next activity is an exam practice. So we could probably leave that one for the next class. Okay, no, we have a few charts yet. Okay, we can definitely do that. And then the exam practices. Here we have listening parts, so we should be good with this one. And an article, we need to review the writing parts about the articles. But other than that, we're good. Okay, we're gonna stop here for now. Thank you for watching the class. I will see you later. Bye bye, guys.